What's up, homie? Okay.
Welcome to Nightcap, everybody! Bobby your hostesses with the mostesses. And we're here, man. This is episode
2. Don't act like you can count.
15. That's episode 15.
Is it 15?
Yeah, dude, we're at 15.
Damn, that went quick,
That's
man.
crazy.
That went quick, bro.
I'm very excited about our progresses. And you know what? Us silly fools, there's something to celebrate. That they decided to sign us for 10 more episodes. So you're going to see our ugly faces again and again and again.
We're going to be around for a bit, baby. We're going to be around for a bit.
For all of
you up in here.
With the
been here.
Weird questions like, you know.
Like when they're going to cancel you.
Yeah, when they can cancel you. Why do we watch this waste of time train wrecks?
Why do you guys have a show?
Jokes on you.
Yeah, you suckers. Look at you guys now looking pathetic over there.
You sucker!
Yeah. We're going to stop deleting your comments in the YouTube channel. We're going to roll with it from now on.
Actually, a funny story. One of our episodes, I think it was a junk episode, you could see that I actually, engaged with one of the haters instead of embracing
Yeah,
it.
I told you not to, man.
Yeah.
Never engage with haters. That's like a life lesson. If someone's hating on you on the internet, just ignore them.
It's a funny thing.
You give into them, man. You're feeding them.
Oh, no,
you're giving them power. You're giving them that power,
yeah,
bro.
you're absolutely right. I think I was feeling.
I'm always right.
Even closer to true, but anyway.
50% of the time, I'm right all the time.
That doesn't even make sense. That whole ass statement is skewed. Anyway, don't throw that. No, that's a thing where he's out. He's right. I think I was just feeling some sort of way that day. We were on a streak, and everybody was loving the thing. And then that one guy, he started heckling. It's like, that's when you know you're doing a good job.
There's always that one dude.
There's that one dude.
Oh, yeah. The more haters you have,
yeah,
the more successful you definitely are.
Oh, for sure. I'm pretty sure that's the same dude that does the one thumbs down.
Yeah. For sure him.
All the time. And the funny thing is because haters are usually pretty obsessed. You know, it's like, dude, you literally will sit there and because you hate our show so much and watch the whole last thing just to give that thumbs up.
Yeah, and if you don't have something nice to say, just don't say it at all. Isn't that's the thing, right?
No, that's okay. But you know, we gotta clear the air. What constructive criticism means. It's the funniest thing, and I've heard this over the months. There's a constructive, right?
I'm sick of hearing how whack you are, man. People hitting me up and my
dude, constructive criticism works like this. It's you say something constructive, as in building some sort of advice. When you're just throwing down insults, man, that's just an insult. That actually doesn't fall into the category of constructive criticism. And message. How was your week, buddy?
Man, my week's been fantastic. It's been kind of a little bit of a Shannon show around here.
Shannon show?
Yeah, that's what they're calling it these days.
I've never even heard of that.
Yeah, this neighborhood's been a little bit buck wild lately, man.
Oh, snap.
Too many beers?
I guess.
A little bit of a mess around here. I mean, if anybody could pan around, they'd see the empties and just kind of how we're living. It's embarrassing. They could just see this table right beside us. I don't want to give away
God.
I don't want to give away from the magic of where we are right now, but it's disgusting. This is a teardown. So let's get. You know what we should be talking about?
Yeah, showing your picture of when you were riding on Killicam's bike.
Oh yeah. Last night I fulfilled my lifelong goal of riding on the back of a Harley. Took my shirt off.
Tied it up.
Put my arms. Yeah, I tied it. Oh no, I didn't even take it off. Yeah, I tied it up in the front like a baby
right
boo.
Here.
Like a baby boo.
There. No.
And
there.
went for a little ride on the Harley.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. I bet you the rest of the neighborhood had fun with that.
Oh, they were laughing.
In a biker
no, we drove. Yeah, we drove right by a bunch of fools over there, and they were laughing there.
They're just look at this prospect.
Yeah. Damn.
Doing prospectings.
We should get in some advertisement.
Already?
I think so.
Okay, fine. I got to shout out our new sponsors. We shouted them out last show on my cousin, Andrew Xavier. If you haven't seen that episode yet, it's on our YouTube channel, just with the rest of the plethora of things, or VOD on Telus. Anyway, Phil Can Clothing, everybody.
Word up. Yo, yeah, you Filipino? You want to represent? You want some bootleg stuff? that represents your culture.
Borderline copyright infringement.
Yeah. They're definitely gonna get sued soon.
The bigger they get. I believe they get, those guys are super cool, man. They hooked up a swag bag, as I mentioned last show. And I'm probably, you know what? I gotta support the business. It's not like a full sponsorship or anything, man. I'm gonna go broke buying all their gear. Because, man, is it ever lit. Very genius guys. Very good with marketing.
Yeah, man.
Anyways.
Big up corned beef and rice.
Big up corned beef and rice.
Yeah,
and
man.
longanisa.
Yeah.
Yeah, little Filipino sausages, huh?
Yeah.
Talk about symbolic. Anyway.
Yeah.
Whatever.
You
I
guys
don't know how to talk.
you guys are not packing.
Ooh, West Coast Mechanical, everybody!
Oh, yeah. Okay, our next sponsor, probably one of the best sponsors of all time. They do a lot for us. Show him your brakes. He went in the other day.
Yeah.
He's been driving around his whip, broken up, screeching around the block. It's embarrassing.
Dude.
It's straight up embarrassing.
I don't know if you can see that. There is absolute, it's just metal.
There's no pad on it.
There is no pad on
This
there.
guy's a lunatic. I've been telling him forever to go get him fixed.
I was rolling on
Finally went into West Coast Mechanical, got him fixed up. You know,
that. This is a proper ad. For
top-notch Ty.
Top-notch
Always
Ty.
does a great job. Did he tell you that you need to get your shit in check?
Yeah, multiple times.
You, like, figure your life out?
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing driving around with metal scraping
Let's just
against
say
your
I have a
rubber?
welder's certificate at this point. Dang. He took, I think, a good hour just to get the router off.
Yeah, how long did it take
My
making
back
fun of you
tire.
for being such a fool?
Oh,
bro?
yeah. That's another thing, too, is West Coast Mechanical's, group of people. They're really accommodating.
They're beautiful.
And they'll also break your heart. If you've been driving around with these...
Nobody does that, though. You're the only person that does that, man.
Dude, I was broke,
They're
son.
screaming, man. The brakes are screaming down the block.
They were.
The smoke... Yeah, man. You just like, you're an embarrassment.
West Coast Mechanical, everybody!
Tell him we sent you.
Bro,
Or don't.
no,
It might be embarrassing if you say that we sent you, but whatever.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to get into it right here. As we're going to see our next guest, is a wonderful woman.
She's just like an all-around, like, get your poop in a group, follow her on Instagram, she'll help you, she'll lead you through those goals that you need to meet.
100%. She's a great...
She'll enlighten you, bro.
Great.
You need it. You really need it.
Man, I don't need anything. I love myself.
Yeah, no, you don't.
Shannon Leanne.
Yeah. Great episode.
Welcome, everybody, to the Nightcap with Bobby and Joey, everybody.
Woo!
And we're back with a really amazing person.
Yep.
I think that she would probably have to be the 252nd champion of everything. Shannon Leanne, everybody!
That's just playing out intro he does for everybody. It gets worse every time, I think. I think it gets worse every single time.
You know what? It doesn't.
Well,
I change the numbers up. I feel like the numbers are real. And I said she had 252 world championship.
Champion. Yeah.
252 times. And you can fact check that. Fact check. Hi, Shannon.
Hello, how are you?
Good. How does it feel like to be on TV?
I'm so excited. I'm so grateful to be here. I think you guys are awesome. I'm getting good vibes already, and I'm just really excited for what's to come.
That's
awesome.
Person ever.
No, said the said the first
Definitely.
person ever. You
It's
know
usually people like your vibes are off, bro.
what? It's not true, man. You said this before we even went into the TV show, man. Now, wow. Okay, I'm just getting all the arrows for no good reason. I'm
Immediately. Yeah.
immediately out the gates. Okay, let's start talking to her, guys.
Yeah.
Well,
Perfect. All right.
I thought right off
I mean,
the
I was
bat,
enjoying the banter, but I'm open
Yeah.
to questions. So yeah.
Nice. All right, Gene.
I thought right off the bat, Shannon, I think you have a cool background to you. Myself, I suffer from mental health issues, and I've gone public with that in the last year. And I know you're a mental health advocate,
you.
and you've thank you,
Yeah.
and And I know you've been sober living for the past 10 years. So I just want to know, how did your journey start? Yeah.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
did your journey start?
Well, my sobriety journey, well, I mean, I when I was about 21, I decided to, I realized I wasn't going to reach my potential unless I put down stuff that was holding me back. I don't know where it came from. I thought that night that I was going to like not be here anymore after that. And I just felt something. I was like, if I make it through tonight, I'm going to commit myself to change. And I've stuck with it. And I haven't had a drink in almost 10 years. About a year and a half ago, I did start incorporating like cannabis and mushrooms, which have been great for me
Yeah,
personally.
Yeah,
yeah,
man.
I hear
I'm
that's
learning
great for mental health.
natural
Yeah, damn
medicine.
right.
But the 8.5 years I had without anything just did complete wonders for me. And I grew so much and I did the work. And I'm at a much different place now. And I feel so grateful and privileged that I'm able to kind of share my story with so many, and it seems to be affecting a lot of people, and it's just been amazing, and here we are. So thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
That's awesome.
Let's hear about the journey. So, like, it was one night that stuck out that you were just like, finally, like, that's it.
Well, a couple weeks before, I mean, I could just feel something within me. I was like, I feel like this is coming to an end or something needs to change. I just got into some really scary situations, just dangerous environments, just the people I was hanging around. And a friend of mine that I had used with, there's different drugs, she got clean, and I saw photos of her in recovery, and I was so inspired by that. And I was like, she was glowing, and I had this finally an image in my mind. I'm like, change is possible, and that stuck with me. And I just, yeah, when that one night though, when I finally had the feeling like I was gonna die, like I was looking in the mirror. I would have been up all night. I thought I was gonna like pass away, and I was just kind of like pinching at my face. I had scabs everywhere, and I looked in my eyes,
Damn.
and I was like,
Damn.
I had done a concoction of so many things, and I don't even know what. I just like, give me anything. I don't want to be aware of life. And
yeah, me too.
I
I don't know
looked at,
anything about that.
yeah, a lot of people can relate, and that's why like I feel it's so important to share this stuff. And I just like it happens in the movies, right? I looked in my own eyes, and I was like, I just saw like emptiness, and I was like, what am I doing? And
Yeah,
that was like, ding, ding.
you're filling that gap with drugs and alcohol, right? So
Yeah.
that's that, and you, yeah. So it's time to actually deal with yourself, get to know yourself, kind of deal, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's just because alcohol and different drugs can be like the cool thing or so socially acceptable. And I mean, I started when I was 14 just because I just had a kind of a tumultuous upbringing. I love my family. They were wonderful people, but it's just they did the best they could with what they knew at the time. Great relationship now. But just the going from 14 to 21 and getting my hands on any drug or anything I could get my hands on and just take I didn't even care what was in it. I didn't know anything about it. I was like, this is gonna make me high. Okay. Like just I don't want to think. I don't want to feel. And yeah, going from that for so many years, and then yeah, when I was 21 and finally made that change, I was just like a huge shift happened. And I've for most of my life I've learned to kind of listen to those huge nudges of like that instinct being like, okay, listen, like something needs to change. And sometimes I won't listen for a while and I'll keep pushing things off, but then things get worse. So now I'm just like, okay, listen, as soon as you have that nudge, whatever it may be, whatever the situation, I'm just like, okay, shift another direction. So
Yeah.
it's been a journey. Yeah, I can go a little bit more into like last few years of recovery if you'd like.
Yes, please. Yes, please. Yes.
So when I quit when I was 21, shortly before I was 22, my main thing was alcohol, but like in crystal meth, cocaine. And coming off of all of that and being in a rehab, or a recovery house, I was in for a couple months, got kicked out of that one for getting a little too close with some of the other people in the house, wanting a distraction, something outside of myself to make me happy and feel better.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? And then I got kicked out of there, but I was like, help, so I will transfer to another one. 7.5 months there, got kicked out for the same reasons. Clearly there was a lesson I needed to learn that wasn't to be there. I didn't relapse. I decided, like, I was so sad that I got kicked out, and I felt like they hated me or rejected me, but no, they just were like, okay, you need to learn on your own in this way. So I did. And yeah, I've had so much counseling, excuse me, a lot of counseling, a lot of unhealthy relationships continue though, very unhealthy ones with just people that didn't respect me, and I didn't realize that because I was used to that in a way. But
What do you
yeah,
I got a question. What do you think about this system where you're going there to recover and they're kicking you out for something? Like, shouldn't they be like bringing you
they
closer
set
in or help? Like, is it like
they
kind of
set
a broken
rules.
system?
They
What's
set
that?
rules, and they're setting
Yeah.
it was setting an example for all the other girls in the house what they're willing to tolerate or not. And I wasn't listening. I was disrespectful, and I understand that, and I don't blame them. And I learned it worked out for the best. And I yeah, I needed to learn the lesson. It all happened the way it was meant to. And yeah, I respect their decision because I confessed to all these different things too in front of everyone. And I was like one of the senior people in the house, and people are looking up to me as like an example. So I get it, you know? So the
Yeah.
fact that I didn't relapse though, and all of that feeling of like rejection and like they hated me when they really didn't, but that's what my mind told me.
Right.
I still was like, I'm not willing to give up all this work that I've done. And I was
Totally.
like, I'm gonna keep
Yeah.
going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
There's so much more. I want to write a book.
You should.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you definitely. Yeah. I know you mentioned earlier that so it was 8 years of sober living off everything, but
Eight and
then
a half,
introducing, yeah, 8.5. Okay, and then
Yes.
introducing like psilocybin
Yep.
and cannabis into healthy. I should mention to you, we've talked about this on the show before,
Okay.
but I scored a documentary. I did all the music for this documentary called Dosed, that actually was filmed here in Vancouver, went around the world and did some documentary awards and stuff like that. But
Nice.
the only reason I bring that up is because the whole basis of the film is a woman who was unfortunately addicted to heroin and used psilocybin in order to treat some of the mental health side effects that were, causing her to turn to addiction and have those issues.
Yeah.
So maybe you could talk a little bit about how it feels to use psilocybin as medicine rather than, maybe a hindrance.
It is honestly, I had no interest in it. I was like, I want the hard drugs, and I had tried weed a couple times. I was paranoid. I didn't like it. But when I was working, I was working on, sorry, you've been there?
I can't. I don't think I've smoked weed since I was like 22. I think.
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
30 now.
Some people are more prone to it. It can, especially the setting and where you are. And I've realized that I've had a couple times where I did it in public, and I was like, this is not fun.
Well, yeah.
Especially when you're around people.
I'm freaking out, man.
And
Yeah.
nowadays, like, scientists make it in the lab. It's not like that homegrown
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
With
yeah.
that backyard stuff we were smoking back when we were kids, right?
It's like
Smoking
yeah.
down, it's like some kind
Everything is set, setting, and state. Your mindset, your setting, and which state you want to be in at the end. So
Yeah,
totally.
and I'm in a totally different mindset and state and setting than I was. So it's just been so different. So I was actually working on a hemp farm in Pemberton. That wasn't like my dream job. I was with somebody at the time and I was working there, and not a lot of job opportunities in Pemberton. So here we go, working on the farm for 5 months, and I learned a lot about like cannabis, about CBD, and just like THC and how it's natural medicine, and how it's used in different parts of the world for spiritual reasons and just for healing. And I'm like, I made the decision. I was like, you know what? I'm learning so much about it. It can't be. It's not this toxic thing. It's not going to kill me. First of all, it's not going to poison my body, which I knew. And if it's so beneficial,
yeah,
right? And food is I love food anyways, but it's even more like enjoyable. I
I
love.
was gonna ask you, like, what's your go-to? Like, how are you using it? Do you like to put? Yeah, so you like to put it in your food?
I like gummies and I like tincture. Yeah, so I used to smoke it here and there, but I feel like it's also, it doesn't last as long, and I also don't it's just not my kind of thing. I don't know, gummies are fun.
Yeah.
And they taste good as variety. Yeah, but
Yeah.
it is, I've experienced it very much as medicine. My mind, like I said in my video the other day, like my mind is so much more open. I think outside of the box. I question the things I've learned and believed, and I want to know like where they came from. And I've learned to kind of just I'm more open to different ideas and information. I'm not so like restricted to my previous programming and beliefs, and it's just made such a change because I'm just so grateful that I learned these things and I incorporated this. And yeah, I used to be so shy and quiet, and like now that I've had this stuff, I'm like so many words, so many things.
So you have you have a background though in speaking, right? Like there's now. I mean, like I know you said you're like socially quiet and all that, but now you have this like.
I can't stop now.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I very socially awkward. I was extremely anxious. I lived what others thought of me, and that was just much of why I drank. After getting rid of the alcohol and the drugs, I learned, and being in a treatment center with 19 other women, learned to talk to people, you know?
Yeah.
And especially when you're not escaping, when you're trying to be social, you're not like just other things to be someone else. And yeah, I've just grew into who I'm meant to be. And I think because I'm working on myself, I have more to talk about. And because I'm so open, people are more open to me. And it's just the connections just from being open and all that I'm learning. It's just, I think this is how life's supposed to be. And I think society has a lot of things backwards. So.
Oh,
that's beautiful.
Yeah,
that's so cool.
But that's one thing about that is like it doesn't matter about. It's always going to be backwards. This is truth, and that's the facts of things. It's just what we can do ourselves to.
Yeah,
I mean?
We're responsible for ourselves.
Yeah,
and it's very obvious here in Vancouver. There's so much like addiction and mental health problems, and like it's like right in our faces, right?
Yeah.
So like
but so many people don't talk about it, you know, and they just are. They have a lot of people have this like front, and everyone's just trying to be someone they're not. I feel like, and a lot of people don't realize it, and they're masking so many things with alcohol, and it's just so socially acceptable. And yeah, like side note, I'll just interject one little thing as well. Like just for example, somebody commented on my photo today. I was expressing that I'm so excited about today and this and that. Somebody's like, yes, you look good on the outside and you feel good on the inside. I'm like, actually, and I use these opportunities to educate people. I was like, actually, I feel good on the inside. I've done the work on the inside and it is showing on the outside. People rely on external, thinking that's what's going to make it better. It's the other way around. And he was like, oh yeah, you're right. Like all these little opportunities, I don't harp on people. I use them as education opportunities for clearly enlightenment.
They want to hear what you have to say. I mean, you have
apparently
when we started chatting pre-interview. You were very humble, I'd say, about everything. And then and then I seen your Instagram. And
you're like, you have a few followers.
What?
Yeah, it's banging.
You got a few people on there.
Yeah.
You're teetering on 30K, so obviously there's people that want to, hear from you.
Yeah, it's cool that you're using your story to inspire other people. Like, how do you incorporate like the use of marijuana and microdosing and stuff like that, like to help with like mental issues and health awareness and stuff like that?
So I actually just about 2 days ago, I'm not sure if you saw the video, I think I sent it to Bobby, but a couple days ago, I actually admitted publicly that I've chosen to do that because for so long I kept it to myself thinking, I'm not against like the program of like recovery and all that, but I think that I had associated, like my identity was wrapped up in recovery, sober, that is who I am, that is all I'm worth. And I realized that, and I was so afraid once I incorporated these things to share it with others because I was like, oh no, those who look up to me are gonna want to do this, or they're gonna, I'm gonna be responsible for their choices. And then just a couple months ago, not even that long ago, I'm like, I'm not responsible for anyone's choices but my own. And I was like, I'm going to say this message that I need to get off my chest because I want to live authentically. I'm learning to become a coach. I want to teach people to live authentically. This is the last thing I need to share to them, or like to be open and completely real with everyone. And the feedback I received from so many, I thought people in recovery were going to bash me. Like my shame had lied to me. My shame told me that no one else is like, people aren't going to want to talk to you. They're going to judge you, but I've received this outpouring of love and support, and people have reached out to me saying they had felt the same and they've been doing the same and they've been too scared to talk about it. And they thanked me. and I've had way more love. I had one rude comment. Other than that, I was just like, just nothing but love.
I mean, you know that there's always going to be that one guy.
Yeah, and I said it in a video. I'm like, if you leave a rude comment, it says way more about you than it does about me. Like, I've mentally prepared myself for way more than negativity than I've even received. So, good.
And the fact that it's helping you through your journey, like, you might as well share that. You'll probably help a bunch of other people.
Totally. So there's a reason why it's incorporated in so many parts of the world. I'm not bashing the laws or anything, but I'm like, just to think of things differently, just why is it that we have these rules? Why is it that we view it this way? It's because of our programming here is very different than in other parts of the world. And, it's worked for me and it helps a lot of people. So, I mean, it's not for everyone. I'm not pushing it, but I'm saying it for me. Heck yes, it works. So, yeah.
Vulnerability is definitely the key, I think, in our generation, and what's happening is like this shift globally, where before it was like show no weakness. If you show any weakness, people will pounce on it and eat you alive. And now it's like the vulnerability is allowing people to just wake up and have this kind of open conversation about things. The dialogue that has started in the last few years has been really interesting to watch unfold. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's struggles. We all have things, and we all have way more in common than we actually kind of portray this like image. And I have all these material things, this and that, what's my status, and like those people, a lot of people have this like status or look good and this and that. Like people judge me thinking I must be arrogant, and then they talk to me, oh, you're so nice, right? It's like if people just talk and are real and vulnerable, heal so much in the world.
Yeah,
it really would.
Yeah.
Like just like what's wrong with it? If they're gonna be an ass, sorry, you can out if you have to, but if they're gonna be an ass about it, and they're not your people, the right people.
Oh wait, you could say ass on on PG TV. Yeah.
Yeah.
I almost
you get one.
You
get one.
I get shot down. You get one.
That's it.
If you've seen our, I'll send you some links to the other show and other shows, and we slip.
There's a lot of beeping.
Yeah, there's a lot of beeping.
Okay, perfect.
But this is that show, guys.
It's never Jamie though. You ever notice that?
It's never Jamie.
Yeah.
That's why we call him the
He's
voice
such a
of
gentleman.
God.
Yeah, he's the voice of
Yeah.
God.
And the thing is like we get a little wild and crazy, but
nothing wrong with
that's
that.
why we love this guy for reeling it in. I was gonna say about mental health. I mean, when I sent you that video I did about it, that's when I'm 39. I just started talking about it. So I had a slew of PTSD and all this sort of stuff. Of my life was not the funnest. But I came out of it, and all I did was exactly what we were talking about, weakness, where you couldn't. In my circumstantial situations, it was weakness, and it didn't benefit me at all. Yeah. So you get used to it from for
programming.
Well over 2 decades. I was like just buried it, and literally just started. I did that video I think in 2020 or was it 2019, and I just started when this guy moved in. That's when I started. When my brother moved in, that's when I started talking about. He forced me to actually.
Aw, good. And how do you feel now?
So being that vulnerable felt weird. And like I was just like, no. I literally told him.
I tell him I love him every morning
and
give him a big hug.
I literally told him, I'm like, don't touch me. And I was getting all like chest out like this, and it was like a total like Denzel Washington tear just trickles. Don't touch me, man. I ain't like that, dog.
I don't think people realize how important it is to talk about your feelings, right?
It is. Otherwise we're like storing it in our bodies, and it like actually like hurts us and manifests in different ways, and people don't realize that these things need to be expressed, or they're going to be expressed in some other way, whether it's anger or whatever, right?
Chemical imbalances, and then it's permanent. Then you got to take antidepressants, right? So
better late than never. That's what I say.
I'm a lot
happier. I gotta say.
And you're sharing about it now, and other people. I'm sure so many can relate, right? I mean, this is what creates connection, and I feel like people are. I think finally it starts.
Take it easy. I'm gonna just tell him first, okay?
He's a work in progress.
Real relationships, right? That's what being open does. It allows for more depth in relationships than what a lot of people do.
Yeah.
Point Shannon, absolutely. Yeah.
I got my plug for. I love this talk. I did.
Oh, thank you.
This talk is amazing. It's you know, and it's good to chat about it because I didn't realize how good I was gonna feel. But like as time for the days went on, I was like, you know, I was awkward at first, but I feel okay.
Right?
I feel okay right now.
And honestly,
Like-
microdosing helps. It's like
Yeah,
a
we don't
reset
know how to
button.
do that. We
It's like
poisoned
a-
ourselves.
It's a
instead.
reset. It's like a reset button, though. You know what I mean? Though
It is.
and it really just like it puts you back on track sometimes, and it makes you realize certain things, and it just makes you
Yeah.
and it makes you happier. Really,
Yeah.
Yeah, oh,
honestly.
for sure. The warm
Gets you giggly.
fuzzies, but then also just like awareness and thinking layers of thoughts and like questioning this and that and piecing things together. Like once one
For sure.
epiphany comes, then that connects so many other things, and you're like, that makes sense. That makes sense. I understand now. Like it's just amazing.
It opens up your third eye.
It
So I
totally
mean,
does.
so
Yeah.
you do. So that was my other question: is do you
Yeah.
get a little like silly with it, or like is it just microdosing? I mean, I love getting silly with it, going out in the
It
woods.
varies. It varies. Yeah. Sometimes it depends on my mood, and I listen to what my mood is and the setting and everything, and you know, it's good. I mean, yeah, it creates some great times, but then also creates some like balance. And I don't do mushrooms all the time. I microdose sometimes. Sometimes I'll do a little bit more. It depends.
Yeah, that's what's up.
And I figure out how I feel. It's nice to do yoga that way too, or meditate.
Yeah.
Oh,
Can you teach?
Great.
Can you teach my unflexible ass how to do yoga?
Just start. Just start. Watch
Just
me.
start.
Yeah, first,
Sure,
okay,
watch
first,
me.
yeah, dude, try to touch your toes first. We'll work on that. Then just try to touch your toes.
Oh, you're
and
just
then
gonna
once you get
out
past
how
that-
unflexible I
Yeah,
am, bro?
Yeah,
Is that
You
what
just
it is?
said. You
Homie
just
has,
said.
yeah, homie has to sit down and tie his shoes.
That's not true,
Aw.
man. I
know,
took a
I
knee
think-
the other day.
Sometimes I tie his shoes for him.
Aw,
No,
that's
it's
love.
all
That's love.
lies, man. You're acting like I'm like the, like that TLC show on the fat people.
I'll
No.
help you. I'm here for you, baby. I'm here for you, baby.
Okay.
You know,
Damn.
I do think though about like yoga or exercise in general, but yoga is actually a lot of what started me on this whole journey. Because I was having like back pain and I just needed to stretch. I was assigned different stretches by the chiropractor, and I was like, hey, these are boring. 30 seconds here, 30 seconds there, like blah blah blah. Let's try
Yeah.
something else. And I started doing yoga, and it started and meditation, and a lot of people will stop doing those things like right off the bat if they're like, oh, I'm thinking too much when I'm meditating, or they're like, I'm not flexible enough. But like, how do you get flexible enough? How are you able to focus? You keep trying and your brain starts getting like being trained. And I decided to commit to it, and then it's just led to this whole other like, I've tapped into my like inner voice and those intuitive nudges and moments of inspiration, and I'm more flexible now, which is great.
Nice.
I feel good and I feel more fit, and I started doing like resistance bands and weights now, and yoga and meditations depending on my mood. So it's awesome. It's just all gone kind of hand in hand, and I actually got a tattoo on my back to signify this journey. It's like a lotus flower and unalome, and it kind of signifies the path to enlightenment, how it's kind of all over
What
the
did you say? Unalome.
unalome. So UNALOME. It's a Buddhist thing.
Okay.
Yes, it's a Buddhist.
There you go. Wait, which way?
And-
Right there.
Yes. So it actually signifies the path to enlightenment, how it kind of goes like this. It's a Buddhist symbol, path to enlightenment, and then it kind of, there's a straight, and it's like, okay, it found it. And then the other part of it is, we can attach my photo actually, is a lotus flower. Lotus flower signifies coming out of the darkness and into the light. So it just kind of, like, even a couple weeks into doing yoga, I was like, couple days in, I told my boyfriend this is going to change my life. Within a couple weeks, I was looking up a tattoo, and I got one, and it's just like,
Hey.
Is that your first one? Your only one?
no, I have four. A few of them have more meaning than the first one. Did you want me to go into it?
You sure? This
Sure,
is-
yeah, why
this is
not?
Your
Okay.
episode,
Oh, yeah,
Shannon.
oh,
Your
Thank
episode.
you. Okay, so the first one I got was like a lipstick kiss print on my butt. I got it when I was like 18. I was hanging out at a tattoo shop, and I was like, what can I get?
It's a
And then
classic.
people are like, oh, does that mean kiss my ass? I'm like, no, that wasn't what I was intending, but okay.
I like
Thanks,
that.
I'll go with it.
I think we're gonna get matching
I like
ones of
that.
that.
Dude, you want to go get a tattoo
Just to
with me?
join you.
Dude,
We'll be able
Yeah,
you know what I
right?
wanna do?
Oh,
I
let's
wanna-
do it.
I'll get you to put it. I want them to put on lipstick. You kiss my butt,
Aw.
and then we'll tattoo that on there with each other's
Right?
lips, bro. That'll be a bonding situation right there.
Yeah,
dude.
some people are like, whose lips are those? And like people
I'm
are
like,
like,
it's my
those
boo
your
right here,
Wow,
Yeah.
that's incestual.
So,
and
I-
but the The tattoos, I think, are important. Tells your journey. I mean,
Yeah.
I think mine though are like completely all negative from my life.
Really?
I just got my very first positive tattoo in my lifetime.
It's
and
all a
this guy
story.
right on my neck.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the I'm not gonna like ever get rid of them. Like
I tried.
All mine are
Did
me.
you?
Yeah, I
You wanna
tried.
get them removed?
I had 5 laser sessions on that one to get it removed, and it only
Ooh.
faded, and it just was still there. So when I got this one, I actually touched up that one. I was like, you know what? It's there.
Oh,
I might as well touch it up and make it look a little better. It's part of my story.
Though,
Yeah,
eh?
I heard
It's
it.
brutal though.
It wasn't
When
so
I went to
bad.
get- I went when it, well, really? Because I went to get
It was like- it's like this
done.
big,
Frank
though.
was doing my tattoo, and I could hear somebody in the back getting zapped, screaming,
Holy
just
smokes.
screaming. I was
Yeah,
like,
but you don't know where
"Holy."
the tattoo was.
Yeah.
Could have been
My-
somewhere sensitive, man.
Yeah.
I think my pain tolerance is pretty good, but yeah, I'm glad I have that one touched up now. I mean, it looks better now than it did after all those sessions to have it removed. But I have a couple more. I got
please.
I got about 4 years ago. I was actually in another center for my mental health. I found out I was bipolar when I was in there.
Oh, wow.
I didn't do drugs, but I was just for mental health. I was suicidal. You too? Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Get it? You get it? Yeah. It's an adventure, but I mean, the healing is possible, and we learn.
Never heard anybody say that about bipolar disorder. It's an adventure. How positive are you?
Yeah.
Is this really
She's
you?
a health guru.
Like,
She's a
wow.
mental health guru.
No doubt.
Yeah,
That is the
mean,
most
I
positive way I've ever
appreciate-
heard it to be.
I'm in a mindset transformation program. I see so much positivity in everything now, so I can get into that in a minute. I'll finish my tattoo story, if I may.
Yeah.
So when I was in that center, it was a religious one. I'm not religious per se, but I'm more spiritual. But I got a Bible verse on my ankle that meant a lot to me, and I also the staff told me I had a lot of integrity. And, I would tell on myself when I was hiding things because I realized I'm like, if I am not honest, I'm going to hinder my journey of growth. So I would just tell them everything. And they were so surprised. I keep going to their office. I'm like, I have a confession. And then they're like, but it wasn't like that kind. I didn't have to do that, but I chose. And they told me I have a lot of integrity. So I got live with integrity as a reminder on my ribcage. And it's in Latin, so it's more private. People can't see it and know what it is. It's more for me.
Yeah,
but I'll
I've done that too. I got
the other like 8 billion Latinos on Earth.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, honestly, I feel that's the exact mentality I have with some of my tattoos. That script that's in another language. I got Gaelic all over my chest,
Nice.
like my collarbone one, and I got Latin on the top of my shoulder.
Yeah.
So that's why. It's because you just I don't.
It's for you, yeah.
Myself. Yeah,
People why did you get it in Latin? I'm like, well, it's for me. I mean, I'm not preaching it to everyone else. It's a reminder for me.
Exactly.
And it was
when
like
you look in the mirror, that's what's up. Yeah.
Yeah, and it looks cute. But I like it. But yeah, when they said I have integrity, I mean that meant so much to me because in a way it was them seeing a quality in me that I hadn't really noticed in myself, and I was so used to seeing myself in a negative light. So I got that. Every so often we could leave the house and stay with family. I think once a month for a weekend, and I went and got that. So I got my Bible verse and that within a month because I was like, I just really wanted to document the journey, and I just felt so inspired, and I was like, yes, I want this, and I love that tattoo. And then just recently I got this one on my back, which I will send to you the photo, and it's beautiful, and it means so much to me. So yeah, it's all telling my story. I want more though. I wanted more
addictive.
I wanted.
It's addictive. It's addictive.
Yeah.
It's fun. I actually wanted one half an hour after I was sitting down with my boyfriend at dinner, and I was like, okay, what am I gonna get next?
I was thinking about the next tattoo for sure.
Yeah.
What do you think? Do you think a face tat would suit me? Just a straight up Drake right here or something?
I mean, it's your life. You do what makes you happy. But I don't know, man.
Look at this girl.
Ain't nothing makes him
It's
happy.
It's your
That's the
life.
problem,
You
bro.
do. Doesn't matter what I think. You don't need my opinion. You do what
I
makes
don't.
you happy.
I was just joking. I don't love Drake.
I know.
No, that is a lie.
I know.
That is
That's a lie. We were just.
This
bumping
house
it.
is Drake.
It's so Drake.
Really? Started from
Oh,
the
yeah.
bottom, now we here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Started
I was
from the
listening to
bottom,
that
now
yesterday
right-
too.
Yep. And my
I like rap
sons,
music.
they love it. Yeah, it's all Drake, the kids, everybody. So now we're going to ask you the question.
No, I got one more question
Oh, he's
about
got one more
mental health
question
and all that stuff. It's like, for someone beginning their journey, if they want to, like, you know, start changing their life, like, what's the process of, like, what helpful tips would you give them, like, from beginning to end, like, how to kind of get better, really?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah, that's a great question.
essentially everyone's journey is different. I mean, there's no shame in seeking help. A lot of my own awareness and understanding of like the mind and the power of the mind has come from a lot of counseling, and I also had hypnotherapy, which is so beneficial. I'm actually in school for that now. But anyways, side note.
Okay, 1 minute. Can you touch on hypnotherapy a little bit? Because we were talking about that last night, actually.
Absolutely, yeah, of course.
I'm curious.
I honestly, like, if that would be a great recommendation in itself to what your question was as well. Like, I had so much counseling over the years, like years and years of counseling, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's helped with so much, but the drastic shift happened when I did therapy. I had 3 sessions, and I feel like I had way more progress and a complete shift than I did just counseling or CBT. Like, it like CBT or cognitive behavioral therapy, I mean, it's very much about, like, you know, you think one way and then you teach yourself through repetition to think another way, and that's how it plants itself in your subconscious, and then you start doing that automatically. But it takes a lot of dedication. It's a process, and a lot of counseling, like, sure, they'll help you see things from other perspectives, maybe some different, like, coping mechanisms, for lack of a better word. But when I had hypnotherapy, I didn't even know much about it. I was just like,
I don't either. That's why I'm asking. Like,
I'm
Remember,
getting there.
I even messaged you about it. I told you how dicey I thought it was.
Yeah,
you could potentially convince me on the show.
I guess you kind of got to open up your mind, right, and like kind of let it in.
I didn't know much about it, and I think this was another nudge from the universe or whatever. Like, it was just like, you know what? Nothing else has been working. Like, I just quit nicotine cold turkey. I was feeling like a crazy person, and my negative self-talk when I was meditating was nuts. And I was like, okay, I need some help. And I looked up hypnotherapy and called the first person or the first place, and they had good reviews, I will say that. And my hypnotherapist and I just clicked so well. We're still friends, actually. And a lot of people have a misconception. They think with hypnosis or hypnotherapy, you're going to be in that amnesia kind of state. You're not going to remember anything. It's going to be like a circus show. That's what so many think. Yeah, and I figured that's why I was like, I'm looking forward to, you know, setting it straight and giving you more information. Yeah, it actually, so she let me know beforehand, because I was like, am I going to know what's happening? And she actually said, I'll be very relaxed. I will hear the words. I will be aware of the words. I might miss some of the words because I'm so relaxed. It's a very close to sleep state. You're very relaxed, which is because your intellectual mind, your conscious mind, isn't battling any of the new information. So that way it seeps right into the subconscious, which is where we act on autopilot, where we have all those habits and behaviors. That's why we consciously know better but don't do better. You know, so when I had these sessions, after the first one, I noticed a difference. She helped implant a lot more. Like I said, I wanted a more positive self-image, and I realized my negative self-talk was keeping me depressed. I was lying. Well, I didn't realize I was lying to myself. I just knew it was positive. And she just, after I had those 3 sessions, I healed some anger from a past relationship, and I felt so excited, and like I was able to see so much more positivity in everything and in myself. I started to see myself as a confident person. Like, I would see myself as that person, and therefore I started acting that way. I started seeing that I had worth and value, and therefore I started shifting the kinds of things I was posting and the message I was putting out. Not bashing anyone who posts, you know, different things, but it was, for me, it wasn't right. And it's just helped me really kind of tune into who I am and live the life that I'm meant to be. Like, here we are. You know, it's just,
there you go.
It's been incredible, and I'm actually really good. It helped me so much that I'm now in school to become a hypnotherapist, life coach, and neurolinguistic programming practitioner. So
you're gonna do it all. You're gonna do it all. That's dope.
That's awesome.
And because sometimes I get a little overwhelmed with all that I'm learning, and then I have that imposter syndrome. Like, how can I help anyone? I don't know how all the answers, all this stuff. And I messaged her just to express, and she said even she still has those feelings sometimes, but she knows that, you know, when we are that humble. I don't want to like call myself humble, but people have said I am. I do believe I am, and she is as well. And when we're humble and we're able to kind of self-reflect and know when we can make improvements on things like that, those are the kind of people that want to help others and should, because we're doing the work. And whereas other people think they know everything, shouldn't be helping anyone because they just can't learn anything new because they're like, I know everything. So I was like, oh, you know, it really it helped.
That's I feel like the worst mentality to have. I like how you said, you know, just going back to when you said like when you started believing you're confident, like it showed on your body language and everything else. Yeah,
I carry myself differently.
If you're sitting there thinking, you know, some sort of way about yourself, it shows other people subconsciously pick up on how you feel about yourself.
The energy,
so then,
they feel it.
And it's the law of attraction. So you eventually
love it.
Ultimately,
yes.
Well, it's, you know, secret. What's up? Anyways, ultimately, like you attract that, and you know, and even, you know, for the person, they don't even know why they're attracting it. Like, you know, they're attracting all this negativity, but the work really starts within, because once you get there and you start, I help people too. You know,
you get it. Yeah.
And I definitely get it. And I'm still working with my stuff though. Self-awareness, right? And accountability.
Yeah, it's so important. And we're taking responsibility and knowing that you're responsible for the choices and your results in life. Because essentially it's like we choose our thoughts in a way we can control them, which influences or affects our feelings, which changes our actions and therefore our results. Right? And so many people don't realize that. They're too busy being like, this is happening to me, you know, and they don't realize that whatever energy they're setting out or thoughts, all of that, like the actions they're taking because of their thoughts, it's creating their results. And it's so freeing to learn that, like, I have control over my life. It's up to me.
Yeah.
And, you know, and I just want everyone to know this. So I'm excited to share it.
This is great. This is why we're talking about this, you know. A lot of people don't, you know, they don't hear these sort of conversations enough.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
I really
totally believe that. It's definitely, it needs, I feel like it's my life's mission in a way to share all that I'm learning. Like I'm in a couple different schooling programs and the mindset transformation program with Bob Proctor's #1 coach. So I'm learning all the, you know, manifestation, mindset transfer, all that stuff. And, you know, I keep sharing as I go and it's affecting people in a good way. And I'm like, okay, this is, so it's pretty cool to feel like I'm on the right path now, finally.
So what's the ultimate goal? Obviously, you're working on improving other people's lives by showing them what you've been doing.
Yeah.
But like as a life coach, do you do like one-on-one? Like what do you?
Well, I'm still in school. I'm still in school, but it will be one-on-ones. I think, like, I think I'll mostly be like speaking, I'm kind of figuring out the exact direction, whereas like age group and like who exactly I'll be catering to. But for the most part, it's going to be like people wanting to improve their self-confidence, self-image, people who are maybe just coming out of or are currently in unhealthy relationships or have experienced trauma and abuse, because those are all things I've experienced. So I feel like that's where, like, sure, I'm in a schooling program, but life has taught me plenty there too. So I feel like that's what I'm meant to do. I'm like, all that stuff happened for a reason and I didn't know it then. It was hell, but I'm gonna, you know, not all in vain. It's not in vain at all. I'm help people. Oh, yes, one-on-one mostly. Yeah.
I wanted to I just want to say, like, at the beginning of this, when we asked, like, how did this start, and you said that, you know, you had a friend that, you know, when they went into recovery, you saw how they changed and they had this glow about them. I just want to say, I think we can all agree, you have this super glow about you.
Yeah, you got I can see your aura.
Yeah.
It's the last dragon type stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you. I feel like if so many people are saying this, then it must be true. I mean, I've never been the type of person to see that automatically in myself and just assume I'm getting that feedback from the world. But somebody yesterday, like, I was so grateful for all the love and appreciation I've been receiving. And they're like, you get what you put out. This is happening because you are so loving and caring. And I'm like, you know, I've known that you get what you put out, but I never thought about it in that context, like with myself. I'm like, I am a loving person. Like, I'm so caring, and like that's exactly what I'm receiving. And it's like back up. There's a cat. I love cats.
I thought I was tripping out.
I'm sorry. That was
no. My cat does that.
Highlight of the show, right?
That was it.
If
Honestly,
I was at home, my cat
it
was
was
walking
the
all
psilocybin
over.
from last night.
I'm sorry. That was Luna. Yeah,
My cat
right
loves
in
walking on my
front.
laptop too. They love like being on the computer. Like why? Yeah, but thank you. I
I'm
don't.
so sorry.
Oh no, don't add that. Makes me happy.
That's good therapy
I
right there, though. Having an animal around, that's what's
No
up.
doubt.
uh,
I have
yeah,
one. He's right here.
yeah.
dude?
You were
Honestly,
saying,
mine brings.
sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. Mine brings so much joy into my life. It was funny actually. I got my boyfriend and I got a cat in like November, and they were a rescue from Hawaii. But we found out actually about a month afterwards. We took him to the vet. We looked at their file. He was actually born on my sobriety date, and I don't want children.
What?
But I feel like in a way, like that was my rebirth day, and I'm like, my cat was born on that. We had no idea, and that cat too. Like all the other cats were fighting for our attention, but I saw that one, and I was like, he needs love. I'm drawn to this one, and he's like the most confident cat. I love my cat. He just makes I cry still all the time. We've had him for like 7 months. I just look at with him with love. I just love him. So, anyways,
You got a little fur
cat
baby,
love.
yeah.
Pets are great, but I love cats.
I think we all just became best friends. That's all.
Oh, she being
I'm
no
like
best
allergic
friend.
cat-
That's
I'm
my
allergic
best
to
friend.
cats,
That's
but I'll
my
still kiss
best.
him right in the face.
Oh, he's like scratching while he's talking about it. I'm allergic to cats. You can feel it
Yeah.
already.
I've seen Joe do that.
Yeah,
Aw.
they hate it. No cat likes getting kissed in the face. but
I know
still
they
do
hate it.
Oh.
Yeah.
That is true. That is
Getting
true.
it.
But yeah, thank
Well,
you
we're
guys for the compliment. I appreciate it very much.
No worries. One that I did want to ask one question because we're coming to the end of our
Oh
time
damn,
here.
we could do this for so long.
We could.
yeah,
we
we could
literally
just keep
could do.
chatting. It's like,
Actually, you know what? You could come
Part
back.
two.
It's not a problem.
It's
man.
so interesting,
Perfect.
honestly. All this like mental wellness stuff that you're
Thank
doing,
you.
like yeah, we can all touch base on it. Like anybody can.
Perfect.
Well, yeah.
Anybody can relate to it.
No, not anybody that's actually like having that accountability and self awareness
Yeah.
can. You
Yeah.
know, where they was a lot of people like what I learned in psych class in college is that 85% of people with mental health or mental illness go undiagnosed because they're high functioning. So they're still doing
yeah.
work. They're still,
Because people
They're-
like I'm not gonna say only people with mental health issues are brilliant, but a lot of these people are like shamed for these differences. But like I think Einstein was bipolar. Like
Yeah.
these people are brilliant, and yet they're like squashed by like all these messages. And it's just I agree.
I'm
Sorry, go
down
on.
with your movement 150%. I think if we
Love
did
it.
this interview 2 years ago, I probably wouldn't have much to say on it because I'd still be like this. You know
Yes.
what I mean?
Yeah, everything happens
But-
in its right time. So perfect.
It's all the unstitching. So when you said 10 years you've been clean and sober?
August
No,
25th
eight.
will be August 25th will be alcohol free and like all the hard drugs and all that, but weed and mushrooms
That's
are
right.
I do.
So when you're with your modeling career, which we're gonna bring up real quick.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
I think I have to because
Okay.
honestly,
It's
it's
interesting,
amazing.
isn't it?
Like it is amazing, and it's what like oh man, what was that like? Was like during your healing? You just it's Playboy by the way, folks.
Playboy Sweden, and like a few others. That was actually my first
Playboy
public.
Sweden.
Yeah, I was so
Crazy.
surprised. I had
How
no
did that
idea.
happen though? Like
Well,
you were just walking
I
down
did the shoot.
street and-
No. I was doing some modeling here, and there were different photographers, and a photographer reached out to me, and he actually is affiliated or works with that magazine, and I didn't know. And I had no idea how the photos would turn out. I mean, I didn't think that highly of myself in any way. Although, I mean, photo shoots kind of helped me realize that my view of myself was very distorted from reality. Anyways,
Yeah.
but it kept me humble though, which is good. But we did this shoot after about a month or so. All of a sudden, I received an email like, "Congratulations! Like, they want to publish an 8-page spread." And I was like, "What?"
That's
And they like
crazy.
sent me all the
Wow.
sent me all the questions, and I was like, "Oh, are you serious?" So yeah, it was pretty cool. And then just I
Talk
think I got
about
published.
confidence. That is empowering.
Yeah,
women. Like,
it-
that is like people. I think I don't like the negative connotations with that associated, especially
Yeah.
Playboy's classy.
Yeah, I just,
Yeah.
Read, I just read it for the
It's
articles,
super
right?
classy.
Oh,
I read
yeah.
it for the articles
Yeah.
only.
That's a good
okay?
article if you want to read it. I wrote my
Yeah.
blurb in there. if you
I've
want-
never even when you were
We skipped the pictures.
Yeah, we skipped. When you said the picture, I was like,
No,
"This
ain't
is just
happening.
not today."
Let's get to the
Satan.
reading,
No,
please.
Not today, Satan. Yeah.
But no, you're a very beautiful woman, and you had that confidence. I mean, for any male or female, I think like just to do like anything with showing off your body. Talk about body positivity, man.
Yeah.
Like you gotta.
Thank you.
I have so. I do look at it in that, and that's respectably so. Like in that,
I know.
that kind of
I can feel that. I feel that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry.
like
I'd
but
let
it's
you
just-
know. I'd let you know
mean,
if I
I
didn't.
wouldn't. I don't think I have a body like for that. I mean, I'm like,
No,
I'm like,
there's magazines out there for you.
dude,
Jake.
I'm like, if you
Yeah.
ordered Dwayne Johnson from Wish, like that's. Yeah.
if him and Shrek had a baby.
If me and
Yeah.
Shrek had, if Dwayne Johnson Shrek had a baby, this is me right here. I just, no, I don't know how do you theme that.
There's
Nobody's
somebody-
gonna be calling me any
There's
day
somebody
until
out,
I
there's somebody out
work
there
on
that's into
some-
it. There's somebody out there
Oh,
that's
there's
into
been a
it.
few.
I just want to say,
I
Bobby and
popped out
Joey,
a couple pups, you know.
They're doing their own
Well,
thing now.
Bobby and Joey are my body positivity models. Like I look at these guys. They're
We
on
let the hell out of him. We love that guy.
they're on TV every week. How could they not be good looking? I mean, come on, obviously.
Oh wow, what a nice dude.
Guys are
Man,
so
Man,
nice.
I was a little sick today, but dang, that just perked me right
Yeah.
up, son.
That made me feel pretty good.
Thanks, fam. Now it's just our interview. We just totally overtook it.
Yeah. Sorry, Shannon.
Oh, poor Shannon. Sorry,
That is
Shannon.
quite alright. That's
So-
quite alright. I'm enjoying the
so-
banter. My face hurts from all the smiling though.
I'm glad that we cheered you up. It seemed like you were pretty cheery when you came on.
I am.
My bad.
I was gonna say, I'm already quite scary. Poor Jasmina, we were on the phone for like 2 hours and I couldn't stop talking. I'm just so excited about everything days, but anyways.
Oh, yeah,
That's awesome.
150%.
And the good keeps
So
coming because of it, right? You express the gratitude and more good things to be grateful for keep coming. So that's pretty nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you're here. I mean, like, we're not, like, you know, on Showcase or anything yet. But, you know,
I'm
just
grateful.
know that there's going to be, I haven't gotten the statistics for last month yet,
Mhm.
but the month before that, we were already being viewed in over 130 cities and towns in Alberta
Nice.
and British Columbia. So your message today, like you were saying, you know, I just want to talk about it and talk to more people, reach out to more people, help people while they're listening to you. 80
Word of
they watch
mouth
our
happens.
shows 80 times a day. So
Yeah, and this might be the most important episode
I think
we've ever,
so.
we've
I
ever done.
never.
Thank
yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Honestly, like this is my first time ever like being on like my first time being on TV. I've like stood behind news anchors and waved at the camera and you know, but other than
We all
that,
done that
like
before.
at like the peony fair or something, but like I felt like within me, but I haven't wanted to express it for fear of sounding arrogant. Like so many people like to judge me and think I am, but like I felt like I'm meant to speak in front of lots of people. Like I want to do a TED Talks. I want to write a book. I want to, you know, there's so many things I want to do.
It's good.
I've been afraid to express it because, you know, I don't want to be like, oh, I'm meant for great things and to help a lot of people, you know. I don't want somebody to be like, oh, get off your high horse. But now I'm like, no, I'm going to say it. And if you don't like me for it, then whatever, I'm going to say it.
No. But you don't say anything that is like holds some sort of like oppositional, like, you know, a universally oppositional opinion. Like you're doing something positive.
Yeah,
You know what
true.
I mean? So it's
True.
It's
But what
like
I grew
how
up
can- if you-
believing is liking yourself in a way is arrogant, right? And then I was like,
Right.
when I started saying nice things to myself, I'm like, I'm arrogant. I mean, I'm like, no. I'm like, I'm allowed to like myself or love
These
myself.
your arguments to yourself? Do you do it like that too?
Oh yeah, out loud sometimes.
That's
My
awesome.
boyfriend is
Oh, yeah.
awesome. Just lets me process everything out loud, and he hears it, and
Yeah.
he'll have a smile on his face because I'll have my own argument and come up with my own solution, and I'm like,
You're
Yeah.
figuring it out. You're figuring
Yeah,
it out.
I figured it out on my own.
I mean, I do the same thing too. I go in front of the mirror after a shower and I'm just like, look at you, you fat sack of fat. Ah!
Aw.
Anyway.
Yeah, then I have to come in there and hug him.
We'll
Yeah.
talk.
in
We'll
there,
talk
I'm,
later.
I'm
We'll
stark
talk.
naked, and Joe just comes and gives me the Brokeback Mountain backwards.
Aw.
Like, I
That's
won't
love,
quit
that's
you,
love.
Jake. Anyway, I don't know why I know that line. I never watched it.
Yeah.
You did.
Watch it. I
We
didn't
all
watch
watched
it.
it.
I
We all
actually
did.
you should watch it tonight. You
I'm
wanna
not
watch it?
watching
You
it
wanna
with
watch
you,
it?
bro.
No shame.
Great film.
Nothing wrong with that.
So here's a fun little story. I know it has nothing to do with anything, but back
I'm
in the day,
listening.
because we grew up together, right? And back in the day, my mom, on Sunday we'd always just be hungover and we'd be sitting in the living room in our ginch, and we'd set the whole living room up and like order pizza and
Oh,
like,
so many
it
pillows
was just
and
disgust-
duvets.
It was disgusting.
Yeah, we were
and my
dirty.
mom came in and she used to refer to it as Brokeback living room.
Oh my
She's
god.
like, oh great, Brokeback living room. What's up, boys?
Oh, but
That's
we're too
hilarious.
like
Sad Sundays.
We're too upset or too like hungover and weak that we couldn't even fight back.
Oh,
Leave
she-
us alone.
Yeah, she'd wait to burn us real hard.
Talk
in those
about
days.
vulnerability.
I know, kidding, right? Can't even defend yourself. You're like, Aw, that's
Oh,
cute.
but we manned up over the years, and now and somehow we live together again. This is like the
crazy.
third or fourth time in our lives.
Brokeback living room is in full effect.
Hetero
once
life
again,
mates.
baby.
Hetero life mates.
Yeah, if
Straight
something's
up.
meant
He's
to
like-
be, let it go. If it comes back, it's meant to be, right? You guys are meant to be like
Oh,
brothers.
it's Joe and
Yep.
or no, Silent Joe and what is it? No, He's-
Jay and Silent Bob.
Silent Joe.
Silent Joe. That's right up there with
I know,
Fish
it's gross.
Aquarium.
That is
That's
right up there with Fish
Or Fish
Aquarium.
Museum. Fish
Oh
Museum.
my God! Sorry, we're doing we do clips now because we have so many episodes that we've put out, and it's
Most
all
of
our
them are-
best,
yeah.
craziest moments
Most of
and
them
the
are just
most dumbest jokes.
He
we've
just finds the
told.
ones where I'm being an idiot, and then he puts them on the internet just to one click.
Oh,
and
man.
get it.
That's the perks of being executive producer, I guess.
Aw.
There you go.
Making me look like a fool.
Oh, the
Speaking
last
of
one
which-
flamed me lots.
Yes.
Speaking of which, executive producer, I think it's about that time,
We're
actually.
wrapping it
But-
up, baby.
Oh
We're
dang!
wrapping it
Oh
up.
shoot! I didn't even realize the time.
Okay, okay.
Oh wow. Okay. Don't
I have
worry.
more.
This is awesome, man. I talk forever, anyways.
So
Yeah,
we're
do
gonna
you
put
have,
up-
Is there something we can give you a moment to plug here? We can let you.
Sure, yeah.
have the
I
mic.
mean, I'd so be open to like another opportunity and everything to continue the conversation.
Yeah, we could do
Definitely
it
more.
for sure.
Yeah, I know we were thinking of talking about relationship advice and stuff, but I won't go into that. I'll just say like a last message that I wanted to do, and I would love if people can also follow me on my social media, on my YouTube, Shannon Leanne, and my Instagram, Shannon_Leanne XO. I will continue sharing my journey, and I would love it if people comment and engage with me. I love hearing. So yeah.
Yeah,
And then,
just don't DM her because she'll ignore
Oh.
you.
And you know what? I'm harsh gonna brag that Shannon Leanne DM'd me.
Oh.
There you go.
I did.
Yeah.
And he straight up ignored her, bro.
Oh, that's not true.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I watched those videos. I didn't respond because I was doing like a million things.
Yeah, I know.
But
I know.
awesome,
Thank you.
inspirational, great
Yeah.
job.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
saying it verbally on television. That's better than a message back on Instagram, right?
Yep.
Yes, this is better. Yeah.
Responding on
So
TV. Yeah.
you need
Yeah.
to get on. You need to get on writing that book because I know there's a lot of things that you left out that are probably a little bit more
A lot.
personal, right? Especially when
and-
it comes down to addiction and and alcoholism, all this stuff. Like I'm
Yeah.
sure there's like a bunch of crazy stories, but if
I've
you
journaled-
documented it
I've-
properly.
I journaled through all of like my addiction years, like a lot of my childhood and throughout my recovery, and I've written so much about everything. So it's gonna be cool to reflect back and put it all together.
Put it together. Yeah.
We're gonna have to get you back
I look
on.
forward to it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I have so much
and
more to
you know
say,
what?
so
Actually,
yes.
stick around after I end this.
Okay.
And we could brainstorm a couple ideas. But it's been great having you on the show. I love
Absolutely, yeah.
everything you had to say. You're
you.
probably up there. I don't know if it's the lack of sleep or whatever, but this glowing angel on the screen here
Thank you.
is,
Yeah, it's just a little bit
that's
fuzzy.
like my vision's a little fuzzy. I'm not gonna lie to you, Shannon.
Aw.
But you've enlightened us all, and
Problematic.
Thank
man,
you.
I honestly was feeling sick until we did this interview.
Yeah,
Are you convinced about hypnotherapy yet? Are you convinced?
Okay, I'll do it one time,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
It's like that.
I'll do.
I still don't know what it is. It's like Hypnotoad, right?
No, man, they're gonna like.
They
butcher your
get to
brain.
the root
They take
cause
a
and
little
they
piece of
solve
your
it.
brain out.
I forgot to say that. I'm so sorry. They get to the root
It's
issue
okay.
and heal from there
There you
rather
go.
rather than like giving a bandage kind of thing. It's
I'm gonna
heal
go
from the
the
root
easy
and then
route.
there you go.
I'm gonna go the easy route. I'm just gonna get them to go up my nose, take a small piece of my brain out,
Little
and I'll
lobotomy.
just settle down.
Oh man,
like
if
that.
they could just take out the PTSD-ridden part, I mean, that'd be great.
Aw.
Anyways, we love you. This
Thank
was
you, I love you
like
guys.
one of the
That was a lot of
best. You know what? It
I
was
say
fun.
the best.
One of the best
love it.
honor. He's saying the best, but
No,
we-
well, the mental health issues
I think
are so
I think
important.
that this is the
Yeah.
most positive. I'll put
Yeah,
it that way. This is the
yeah.
most positive episode we've ever
Love
had.
it. I love it.
And
I
we loved
appreciate
hearing
that.
you talk. You did take lead. Good job. And
Thank
say
you.
goodbye to everybody. Bye, guys.
Bye everyone. Thank you.
Ah.
Love you. Bye.